All right, so let's talk about Tyler Perry really quickly. Before I go to, let's talk about Tyler Perry. This lady works for Tyler Perry as an actress. Her name is Crystal Some. She plays. Let me see if I can push this to center so you can see what we're talking about Tyler Perry today. Tyler Perry has been dragged all over the internet for the past few days by both men and women. Okay, by both men and women, and she plays Fatima. She plays Fatima on Tyler Perry's show called Sisters, something like that. You know, not sister, because that would be Tia and Tamara from the 90s, but something like that. You know, she plays, but you know, she's an actress. You know, and she has a podcast on YouTube now, and this is how I know that there's confused people everywhere. On both sides, or maybe all sides. Maybe even that's disrespectful to say both sides, right? Let me see. What's going on here? I just came to the chat. How come I no block this weird since? Though anytime you see that name, just block it. It's pointless at this point. Let me see. Yeah, useless people. Yeah, of course. Trolls are like that. They're useless like that. They just change their name. They have like multiple. They're useless like that. Don't worry about it. Please, anytime you see that name, just block it. Okay. No tolerance for that. Zero tolerance. We gotta stay focused. We have to face front now. Okay. All right. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has been dragged by both men and women. Okay, let me say it more like this: both feminists and the weirdos from the manosphere. Not all of manosphere, but the weirdos from there, right? He was dragged by all of them, and it's because of this small clip that I'm going to play for you, and then we'll talk about it and bring it up to speed. I was trying to go back to the chat to see what you guys have been talking about, but all I see is with Ekene Bishop. Oh God, it was creating a new one. see useless people everywhere, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, as soon as you say it, don't even waste time, just block it. Shout out to you, my moderators. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the 26 people watching. Hit that like button. We're missing about 12 likes right now. Hit that like button and please do share. So let's talk about Tyler Perry. I'm gonna play the video. We're gonna react. At the top of the hour, we're going to the RIP Mohbad thing. Okay, there's some more stuff coming out on that, and we try to stay up to date on it, because that's the most viral thing in Nigeria right now. But anyway, let's talk about Tyler Perry really quickly. Let's go to it.
Atlanta, and you said, Crystal, you are vibrating here.
Yeah.
Your man is here, and I was like, ooh. It was the night that we all went to dinner after you moderated Michelle Obama's book tour here in Atlanta, and you said, Crystal, you are vibrating here.
Yeah.
Your man is here. And I was like, ooh. You trying to tell me I'm low vibrational, Tyler? What are you trying to say? And I was like, ooh, I had to think about that. I was like, wow, like, am I, you know what I'm saying? You were like, you're here and he's up here. You gotta go higher in that area too.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I probably had a gummy that night, so I was feeling. I get super spiritual when I'm on them gummies, but that sounds good. Okay, go ahead.
It was real good.
Just 5 milligrams of weed. That's all I could do. You know, if I try anything else, I'd be like, no, y'all come get me. I'm going to the hospital. 5 milligrams.
Going to the hospital.
Yeah, 5 milligrams. But understanding, and having people meet you at your worth. Yeah.
All right, so really quickly, before we continue, not to say something, let me make sure you're still there. Not to say something. If you can't say something, let me see. Not to you there. Let's make sure that she's safe. Yep, I did. Not to say something. Are you there? Let's see if I can figure that out real quickly. Okay, no worry, not to. No worry. The funny thing is that one day, we're going to find this weary. They will reveal themselves too. Usually, they will reveal themselves. No, we'll see them. We know them. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can find it really quickly. Let me keep playing the video and then we'll find it. So anyway, Tyler Perry, sorry about that, not to bring you back in a second. Tyler Perry was basically talking about she's back. She said, who is choking me up? Let me see. All right, so let's see. So Tyler Perry was talking about talking about what you need to do. This is probably a good lesson for everybody anyway. It's not just for gender. Gender war is the worst thing ever. And it's worst when people don't realize they're doing it. Let me say that again. Okay? Gender war, at least those that are aware they're doing it, at least we can look at them in the face, right? And we can say, okay, this person, you know what you're doing, right? Oh yeah, but we need to check them, blah blah blah. Okay, we can just avoid that easily, right? But gender war is worst, okay, when the person is not aware that they're doing it. It's actually worst when they feel like they're trying to help somebody. Okay, so let's continue the video.
That's what I was. Yes, when you said that, we were one of our many nights at your island, darling, in the King's Landing room, at the table. You said it just hit you. You probably was on the gummy there too. You was like, "Meet me at my worth," and we were all like,
"Meet me at my worth." You need to meet your partner at their worth. What do most people do? What do the lames think about when we're talking about it? They think about money. Yes, there are lames on both sides, men and women. Okay. When you say worth, the only thing they can think about is money. In fact, their conversation is full of everything money. Okay? Oh yeah, but money is important. We didn't know that before. We didn't know money is important. You be the first to tell us. Okay? We're talking about relationships, in particular, romantic relationships. Money is important. But clearly, there are many, many other things important. And even some of the brokest people right now in the world, they are engaging in kerewa. They're engaging in sex. Even when they are broke, even in the brokest, when they have nothing to do. Children, sadly. Right? But let's continue.
wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And anybody who can't do that, that doesn't mean they're not worthy of you. That means that they need to either attempt, try, learn, find out enough about you to be able to figure out what that is.
Yes.
And that's not money because you listen, a lot of
So even though he said that's not money, right? Somehow it slipped a little bit somewhere, and then they turn it to money. And all of the conversation around this particular clip on the internet till now has been on money. And then they wonder why they're struggling with romantic relationships. The only thing they can think about is money, 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 money. Well, girl, I don't want you to settle, though. Don't ever let anybody think you should settle for less. He made an example of light bills. We're going to get there in a second.
women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will. In our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men, right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you
all right, so that part right there, the lames will hang on to that, but he's wrong. Okay, all right, good, he's wrong. Okay, it's not about right or wrong. Great, it's wrong. On paper, men still make more money than women. Maybe he's trying to say women are trending upwards in terms of being able to make money. That's a reality. Okay, that's the reality, right? However, are they making more money than men? No, not yet. Maybe never, because there's too much stuff in our society, the way things are set up, that will make that hard anyway, right? So he said maybe it's not about money, but somebody had to make it about money. Now, obviously, I've talked about your economy class, your status in society. You want to make sure you're kind of within that stream, because money do affect how we think about everything. It does affect. If there's lack of money, it will stress everything else out. So we should pay attention to that. But what after you have money, what about everything else, right? Okay, let's continue.
can find love if that man works, at whatever job and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
He's talking about gift. You don't notice something about something sometimes? People will listen long enough, particularly for one reason. Can anybody guess what that reason is before we continue? Tell me what that reason is. People will listen, they will take their life, the most important asset of their life, time. They will listen long enough for one reason. What is that reason? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to try in the chat? Let's do this together. Let's do this together. You know, I bet you Oludare is a Kennedy Bishop Weary, but let's continue. Anybody want to try? People will listen long enough just for one reason and one reason only. I'm gonna play the clip here in a second. I'm gonna play a small. Can you let me see? Let me find it while we're working on that. They will listen long enough, just for one reason and one reason only. And no matter how many times I give them that reason, I hand it to them. I hand them the reason. I say, Baba, it's still never enough. It's very hard to satisfy human beings in general. When I say people, I'm talking general, okay? And for you not to be this person, it takes work because we're all set up that way. We listen long. When we teach active listening, right? People will listen long enough for one and one reason only. Anybody want to try? What are we talking about? Why will people listen? They're looking for something. What is it that they're looking for? I'm gonna play it. I'll give you a chance. I'll play it. I'll give you a cheat sheet real quickly.
Well, you're right.
Literally, the whole internet did that with this video clip. Just because of a need to be right, an obsession with a need to be right. He just said gift. When somebody said gift, do we think a present that's wrapped up? Is that what we think? In this conversation, in this context, is that what we think? What are we thinking when he says gift within the context of this conversation? I'll continue. Let's continue because we didn't get there yet.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill, as long as she's comfortable.
All right, yeah, you got it. He did say as long as all is I keep the light bill, and that was a trigger. I guess that was what triggered the ladies on the internet. I get that. But what about everything else before that? There's a whole 2 minutes before that point of him talking about meet you at your worth. We're not necessarily talking about somebody beneath you, above you, or anything like that. Somebody can meet you at your worth, right? Well, then he messed up by bringing in the light bills. I get it. Let's continue. So the men, they picked up on the men, what I've seen at least, they picked up on the no, men make more money than women anyway. He's wrong again. Tyler Perry is wrong again. The woman's like, no, don't tell me to settle for somebody that can only pay the light bill. Like, that's struggle love. Ouch. Nah, I don't support struggle love personally, okay? Or in any way, on both sides. But struggle love it's also not necessarily about money. Are we paying attention? You get it. Struggle love is not necessarily about money either. Oftentimes, you find yourself settling with a person that actually does not make the amount of money you told yourself you make sure they can make. You find yourself saying that, but you settle because some other needs were taken care of. You get it?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
All right.
Let's continue.
Say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff. You've handled the light bill, baby. You can take me to dinner and everything.
Oh, yeah, he messed up. He kept talking about light bill and mortgages and stuff. Oh, God.
That is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in because that means, no. I need somebody to, who is, they need to make 5 times more and I got to have, Well, you go
Keep
on,
looking,
keep
girl.
your list, baby.
Yeah.
God bless you. Hope it happens. Go on, keep your list.
Now, the reason why this conversation popped up was this young lady, she turned 40, and she's never been married, no children. Okay, and she did a video about it. That's why this conversation is coming up, right? And he's basically saying, listen, you gotta look at everything else. You got money, there's a good chance you won't end up with someone that's like broke like that anyway. But you're an actress, you probably make multiple six figures, multiples, So if you make multiple six figures, there's a extremely high chance most people you meet will probably make less. Okay. Why? It's just numbers. Okay. It's just numbers, right? And he's trying to say, stop looking at money. Okay. And he gave I guess we can agree that it's a terrible example. Like just paying light bills, that's kind of weird. But we're trying to get to a place where you don't get triggered by that. You pay attention to what's important in that conversations, which is gift. Somebody bringing some gift to the table. Somebody bringing something else to the table that can actually meet you at your worth. Meaning they bring some kind of worth to the table. But more importantly, you're able to recognize it. A lot of people just don't know how to recognize any good thing anymore because all they see is red flags. And then you're like, okay, Ola, but why are you writing a book about red flags? Because I'm trying to help you desensitize yourself from that. Actually, this book is going to be a starting point. It's not the end or be all. Okay, it's going to be tough because everything you find online is about talking about red flags on both sides. Okay, so why is it that people will listen long enough only to hear a red flag in the conversation that was actually full of, in my opinion, gems? Why? We're in a very, very rough place. Okay, it's not just people dating. People inside of marriage are struggling. Okay, every other day somebody is threatening somebody with divorce, even if they're inside, if the divorce has not been filed yet. Okay, so let's continue.
But when you talk about just someone to love you and support you, I know people whose men can't touch what they make. But when you see them together, that love, that support, that I got you, babe, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
I remember I was having a conversation with you and I was going, I can admit that I had fallen under that, like, okay, I actually may have misunderstood what meet me at my worth meant. I thought meet me at my worth was meet me at my net worth.
My net worth, right. No, not your net worth.
Right.
At least meet me at my net worth. Yeah,
Okay,
no, that's your net worth. Yeah.
And I was talking to you, I was like,
Before I continue, I can't judge you if you were like her, okay? And you thought it meant net worth, right? A lot of men think they're the only one asking for prenup these days. Women are asking for prenup, okay? Why? Because it's a paper solution to their traumas from romantic relationships, okay? And it's not gonna solve anything. It can protect your money, that's about it. Your assets, anything that they can count. That's about it. But it can't protect you here, which is what everybody is really complaining about at the end of the day, right? So, if you thought it was about net worth, it's not your fault, okay? It's a perpetual thing. It's like a vicious cycle. Everybody is just getting worse and worse and worse. And there's a lot of blind leading the blind, okay? So, and that's why I feel like I need to highlight all of these kind of things as they're coming up. Let's continue. There's one more example that he gave that I thought would be really good.
and Tyler, I was like, this, and this, and this, and I've done this, and you're like, wait. Stop. He was like, don't make it about money. And this is when I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was like it just went off and I was like, I see what you're saying. You were like, Crystal, I used to do the same thing. I would like be doing all these things for someone or people around me and I'm like, I'm not getting anything in return, you know? And we fall into that sometimes. And you said, but then I thought about it, they can't do for me the way I do for them.
No.
It's just like, they can't.
No.
And when you explain it like that, if he is giving you all these other things, then that's something you work with. And I literally completely misconstrued what meet me at my worth in that moment. But worth is more than that.
Right.
You know, and that's
right.
when I was like, wow, like it's way deeper.
Yeah, you got to remove the money from the situation because it's just going to cloud it. And then you have your girlfriend and this friend there saying, girl, he doing this and he ain't got that. And you don't understand the love that we have for each other. And that is what is important. And I'm telling you, there are some good men who can't meet you at your net worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you can find a man who is secure enough within himself to stand in that space.
Now, let's be honest. Here's the caveat before we get to that other side. Here's the caveat. The good man. I love good men. I'm a good man. I would like to think I'm a good man, right? The good man who can meet you at your worth, but not necessarily your net worth. He said something earlier. I wanted to say this right now and bring it back up, right? Are they secure in themselves? Okay? Because if they have issues from the past and they are triggered by the idea that somebody makes more money than them, whatever she brings to the table is never going to be enough in that respect. Because of why? Because of insecurity. Okay? Insecurity is not a crime. Really, the solution is just be aware that it's possible that you're insecure. Right? That way you can check yourself and focus on the value that you bring to the table. Because if you focus on the value you bring to the table, can nobody tell you anything else? Because that usually means it's enough. Right? That's your focus. If somebody can't recognize that, it's too bad for them. Right? Literally, that is a mindset. It's not something you say out in words if you are part of the equation, right? But it's something that they can feel, and there's a very good chance that they can feel that you're secured in yourself, and that makes them feel safe as well. But I needed to bring that back. Like, just because somebody now told, like Tyler Perry, I just told Crystal that they should be able to meet you at your worth, which is not necessarily net worth, does not mean you don't have work to do on yourself as a man. You need to be secure in yourself. You mentioned that earlier. Maybe it skipped over your head because you were looking for something to justify your own bias. I just wanted to bring that back up to speed. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll tell you the story. Oprah tells the story about her and Stedman. They were in Hawaii, and she was walking. This is years ago. She walked in the store. He was behind her, and no, I'll tell you this story. This because I was there for this one. Okay. We were coming out of the Color Purple premiere in New York, and it's Tina Turner, Oprah, me, Gail. We're all getting in the car. And
hit that like button. Hit that like button.
That's when I first knew. That's when I first knew something had shifted.
Okay. Wow.
Because Oprah walks out and they're screaming, Oprah, Oprah, Oprah. Tina walks out and I go, Tina. I go out and hear Tyler. I go, oh. This is very early on. So they're pushing us into the limo, and I've turned back, and Stedman, the security, is pushing him out of the way.
All right, so Stedman is Oprah's significant other. I'm not sure if they're married, but significant other. That's who that is.
Not letting him in.
Wow.
I watched him tap the man on the shoulder and say, hey. Goes, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Graham, and he let him in the car. But do you know, when I saw that man who's 6'6" in that situation, I went, wow. Look at the grace and how he carried it. He didn't get a car with attitude. He wasn't mad, which takes me back to the story in Hawaii when they were in the store and everybody swarmed around Oprah. He was watching protectively, and after she was leaving the store owner, older person, said to her, "Listen, I watched that man how he loves you. I watched that man how his aura is all around you, making sure you're okay and safe." So
now let me just say this. Nowadays, that's very difficult, okay? Because everyone is getting triggered and gaslit left and right, okay? It's very difficult. People are carrying too much around, and in terms, a lot of time it's actually stuff from their past relationships. That's for all the men who say, so you think it's always our fault? I never said that, okay? That's you stuck on your own wahala. A lot of times the issues you're dealing with are from past relationships. But they're your problems today. And the worst thing you can ever do is try to give it away. They're your problem now, right? They're your problem right now, meaning there's an opportunity in that, right? And that doesn't mean you should become somebody's therapist. That's not what it means. I'm never asking you to become somebody's therapist. I'm actually be your own helper of your own destiny. Make sure you have adequate self-love. Make sure you understand your own value. That's where security comes from, particularly not being insecure. It's because it's understanding your own value without necessarily being about money. Okay? Money is a big part of our life, but money is a tool. Money follows value, not the other way around. I've been saying that recently. I need you to pay attention to that. Right? So, it's difficult these days because people are walking around generalizing, oversimplifying things to basics, right and wrong, right? And I want you to understand that if you think you're right, it's okay, you have it.
Well, you're right.
You're right. But are your results what you're looking for? Are they right? Are you achieving your desire? Shout out to you, cherished Olivia. Good to see you. Are you achieving what you're looking for? Because if you're not achieving what you're looking for, then there's more to the conversation. No, that's all I'm saying, right? It's not your fault. You're right. All right, it's not your fault. Okay. She said they're not married. Yeah, they're not married. But you get it. For someone to be with somebody like that long term, I think they continue the conversation to saying he does well for himself, but he's obviously not a billionaire, right? Do you think an average man can handle that? No, he'll probably come out later and say, women are brutal. Women are brutal. Okay. You're right. But please, keep the same energy. Stay away from women. Okay? Keep that same energy so that you don't come here and be explaining and explain.
Explain, because no evidence.
We just tire.